My name is Caris Mosley. I'm on the board of IFTCC. I work for Christian Concern in London. And a lot of what I do is attacking our government in the UK's plan and its desire to have a conversion therapy ban. So that is a lot of what I do and why I'm here. David is a Christian and licensed marriage and family therapist. And he works in the area of reintegrative therapy primarily. And he was trained extensively by Dr. Joseph Nicolosi, who created reparative therapy. He's a board member of the Alliance for Therapeutic Choice, and he regularly speaks at their conferences and at other venues, churches, political and professional organizations. And he's currently doing a PhD in psychology at California Southern University. And he's also actively involved in campaigning against therapy bans. He's the lead plaintiff in Pickup and Brown, the lawsuit brought against California for its law in 2012 that banned reintegrative therapy for children. He is a co-founder of the National Therapeutic Task Force in the USA, which has been successful in helping to defeat 16 out of 18 therapy bans in US state legislatures since 2013. So please welcome David Pickup.
I hope that worked well for you. Certainly, if there are any other questions later, we'll be happy to answer any questions either here or off anytime this weekend. So, can you imagine, which is usually always the case with a same-sex attracted, we'll say, young man. He comes in and sometimes we often go to the trauma first that we've already detected is right below the addiction of, let's say, pornography or any kind of gay sexual experience or homosexual feelings he's had throughout his life. We find the trauma and what Robert might do sometimes, I do this as well sometimes, just when we work on the trauma, sometimes we go back to the very beginning where we started, let's say with the homosexual porn image, and we ask them, just what's your reaction to that now? And almost always, just by working on the trauma, there's a distinct and automatic significant lowering of the homosexual impulse. So my part is to show you and demonstrate to you how we work actually with the moment of addiction in terms of, in this case, we'll do today, it could be anything, but in this case, homosexual memory, that there's still some feelings of homosexuality for. And we've already done the detective work, so we don't have to take too much time today. It's a rather simple process. You're gonna see it demonstrated in a few minutes after I give you a little bit of theory, but you're gonna find it's gonna look a lot like the process you've just done with Robert, but it's changed a little bit. What FSIP is about, as Robert indicated before, is, well, with trauma, there's a negative feeling with a negative event. With feeling state work, which is what we call it, feeling state image protocol, there's always a positive or a pleasurable feeling associated with a negative event or undesired behavior. That's where the SSA comes in. So let me explain a couple of building blocks before we see a demonstration. You need to know what a feeling state actually is. It's always as I put it simply, a positive with a negative situation. A fixation in the mind that conjoins the feeling of an essential need with an undesired behavior. For example, masculine fulfillment gets hooked into erotic feelings or behavior. The mind, maybe a little visual, the mind is created by God. Most of us believe that, or if you don't, that's fine, but the mind comes up with an essential human need, such as, if you're a man, masculinity. You can't not be a man, whether you like it or not. So masculinity, which is a need, gets hooked into, based on trauma, where you don't get enough in childhood, it gets hooked into the erotic feelings of behavior. And so one of the reasons, as Robert alluded to a few minutes ago, that a gentleman finds it very hard to resist an addiction to porn or a sexual image or feeling or experience is because if his feeling state is masculinity or masculine fulfillment, since that's hooked into erotic in his mind, to ask him not to look at gay porn is just like telling him he can't be a real man or can't be masculine, which is unconscious, of course. That's why that man returns time and again with a very tough addiction, if it's to the addictive level. All right, so feeling states are defined further as essential needs to survive or thrive. Examples of feeling states would be, I'm safe, I'm acceptable, I belong, I'm a real man or masculine, I get love, or I'm desirable. There's actually a lot more, but these seem to be the most common for SSA boys and men. In fact, the person we're going to have today, his feeling state, we've already done the detective work. We've already figured out that his main feeling state, there may be more attached to the eroticism, but his main feeling state is, I get male love when I have sex with this boy I had years ago. That's the basis of this whole work. So what feeling states are not are just simple feelings of calm, thrilled, pleased, turned on, happy. The work won't work well unless you really nail down, you really detect the bottom line feeling states. That's where the art of this therapy comes in. Just as an overview, how can we release the feeling states? So what the FSIP does is it releases that hookup in the mind so that the homosexual feelings just dissipate or at least reduce significantly. So we'll see if that happens today. Maybe it won't work. Maybe it'll work perfectly. Maybe it'll work somewhat. We're just going to find out. I have a very gracious, brave volunteer here today who's volunteered to see up front if it works for him. And then after that, which is very similar to what you've learned before, after we drain the color of that feeling state, which in this case is male love, out of that image of sexual enactment, then we deconstruct the image. It's all done through the same general type of imagery for the subject. All right, so just to give you another visual picture of what it looks like, you're going to see a homosexual image come up on the screen. Did you really think I was going to show you a homosexual image on the screen? Those Americans, ugh. Well, there it is. So let's say this particular guy's feeling state was masculinity. It's a very common, all right? And let's say he colors it. He chooses the color always, and in his case, the color is red. What do? We drain the red color, because that holds the masculine feelings. We drain the red color out of the image. That's done, right? Then at the same back and forth, it's a little different than the other process. Back and forth, then we also drain the image itself. And what do you have left over after that's all done? Nothing. That's the point. So the mind, in theory, we'll find out, the mind, in theory, has broken that feeling state. And then you're going to find out that the clients usually feel very much more alive, naturally. They feel good about themselves. They have an affect. Their emotional affect matches high self-esteem, their feelings of wholeness in their own male bodies, instead of objectifying other male bodies. So, I think that's it. Yes. So, I'm going to have Marcus. This is Marcus. I guess you can give him a hand if you would like to do that. Have a seat in the far chair. Like I said, we've already taken this process halfway through, so time is of the essence. So I just want you to look, if you can, and just hear. We'll have microphones so you can hear. But we've already figured out the feeling state, and Marcus is just going to see what works for him. I'm going to lead him through every step of the process. It's going to look a little bit like what Robert showed you. So let's just see what happens, all right? Thank you.
You're welcome.
If the microphone is making you not be able to concentrate, just forget about it. Okay. Because I can do that.
Okay.
Okay? So Marcus, you already have, just so the audience knows, we pre-planned this. So Marcus has a memory when he was about 9 years old of having a type of homosexual experience with a boy at 9 years old. Okay? It's still hanging around, evidently. It may be high in SSA, it may be medium, it may be lower. What is it for you? How high, medium, low,
My
intensity?
current state, or
No, the SSA in intensity, just so I know.
in that image, in that memory.
What you're feeling right now.
Right now, it's
Mild,
rather
medium,
low,
high?
rather low.
Relatively low. Okay, that's fine. You can work with, no matter what it is, you can work on the issue. So he's already identified the image. He's got the image, right? It's in your head. You've already imaged that moment. I would suggest you focus on the moment of the most intense moment of that sexual experience. Mm-hmm. You can explain that in detail to the therapist if it helps you, but we don't have to today. You already know what it is, so we don't have to do that, all right? So then I'm going to ask him to drain the color out of it. We're going to deconstruct the image itself. Let's see what happens, okay? All right, so just stay connected with me, all right? I want you to visualize that image, okay? You've already chosen the feeling state that it's male love. Male love, something you never got in childhood that much, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what color, Marcus, is that kind of male love for you? That need for male love?
It's kind of a grayish, greenish color.
Gray-green, I'll just call it gray-green if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to pull up that image, and I want you to begin to see that color gray-green begin to flow out from being embedded within that image. See it flow and drain out, dripping, dripping, falling all of it out of that image onto the floor. Now see that gray-green color on the floor being completely absorbed into the earth. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, now go back to the image, pixelate the image, just the image itself, same one, pixelate it. See it composed of tiny, tiny little pixel particles. What shape are those particles, by the way?
Square.
Squares, little tiny, tiny squares, all right? We're going to deconstruct the image. How do you want to deconstruct it? You can wipe it away with a cleaner and cloth. You can bomb it with a bomb. You can put dynamite to it. You can cut it up with scissors. Any way you want to, it all works. What would you really like to do to get rid of that image?
Well, it already started to do it. It started like line by line, just disappearing. Line by line, pixel by pixel.
Okay, well, just
square
for
by
the
square.
audience's sake, let's pick. You pick a way that you'd really like to just completely destroy the whole thing. What would that be? You get to choose. It's beautiful either way.
Burn it.
Burn it. I have a lot of clients that say that. Is that spontaneously combustion, or is that like light a match or something?
Light it on fire.
Light it on
It
fire.
just crumbles and
There you go.
disappears.
Excellent. So pixelate the image. When you're ready, completely deconstruct it with that fire. See it all destroyed. Take a few seconds. Tell me when you see it done in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, take a breath. Marcus, re-image the image. Just re-image it, the same one.
Yeah.
What does the quality of the image look like now? Does it look exactly the same as it did before, or does it look different in some way?
Well, what first happened in the process was like the whole background disappeared and it was just light background.
So it's already beginning to work.
Yeah,
The
and-
image is diminishing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Let's keep going. But you can still see some of it, right?
I can still see some of it.
Perfect. So go back to that image. Whatever it looks like now, it's the same image. See more of that gray-green color now beginning to flow and drain out of that image. See it falling to the floor, and see all that color on the floor being completely absorbed into the earth. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the image again and pixelate it. Pixelate it
Yeah.
all again, whatever you're seeing. Okay? Now completely deconstruct it. Tell me when you see it done.
Yeah.
Okay? Now take a breath, re-image it, if you can. What does it look like?
Well, it's just white.
It's just white?
It's just a white.
Are you saying you can't see any bit or part of the original image?
Well, maybe like some spots there, some single spots.
Yeah,
but
there's some single spots left. So the image is still there in little bits. They're great. We'll just keep going. So out of whatever's left, see all that gray-green color drain out, drip out, see it all fall to the floor. And then see finally that color being completely absorbed into the earth. Okay, now re-image the image, if you can. Can you see it or not?
well, there's some single spots, but they're very light gray, like hardly to see.
Okay, so it's still diminishing? Great, that's fine. So whatever you can see, even little bits and pieces, just see the green color coming right out of all those pieces, whatever is left, see it all fall to the floor, and see the green-gray color being completely absorbed into the earth. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, pixelate the image. Whatever those little bits seem composed of even tinier little pixels. Completely destroy whatever is left. You can use the same method, burning it up, or you can do another method. Totally up to you. Just tell me when you see it done, all destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, take another breath. Now re-image it, if you can, and tell me what it looks like.
Well, it's just white.
Can you see any bit or part of the image anymore?
No, like it's like there's shadow on it, like not really like a pixel, or not really like, it's not completely straight white. It's just like some kind of very, very faded shadow, but there's not really anything of the image left.
That's great. You're almost done with this part, but there's a shadow left. So I'm always one for thorough. Why not? Why take a chance? So let's even drain the color out of the shadow. Whatever is left, see the green-gray color come out of that. Whatever's left, the shadows, see it fall down to the floor, and see all the color on the floor being completely absorbed into the earth. Okay? Now, pixelate whatever's left, tiny little pixels. Now completely destroy it. Whatever's left, just destroy the whole thing or deconstruct it.
Can I explain what I just saw?
What?
I saw the picture, like all the white and everything, like you have an aquarium, and the image was just draining out, like it was water going out of the aquarium.
That's fine.
And now it's almost like it's only the glass left.
Okay, so and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the main point is, can you see any bit or part of the original image anymore?
No, just the glass.
Okay, all right. So to try to, in case there's other pixels of the image that might be left over in the psychological body system, then we're going to go throughout the rest of the body. Just take a few minutes to do that. So it's really simple. Just close your eyes. Breathe into the center of your brain. And as you breathe out, see any remaining pixels of the image that might still be there. See them releasing out of the center of your forehead. Just tell me okay when you see that done. Okay? Breathe into the center of your brain and release the tiny pixels out of your eyes.
Yeah.
Doing okay?
Yeah. It's physically coming out of my eyes.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's good. All right, breathe into your chest. Breathe deeply into your chest, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels releasing out of your chest, flowing down your arms and out the palms of your open hands.
Yeah.
Imagine your spine is composed of guitar strings stretching from the bottom all the way up the middle to the top of your head. Now breathe into all those guitar strings, top, middle, and bottom. And as you breathe out, see the tiny, tiny pixels of the image releasing, radiating out in all directions from all those guitar strings, top, middle, and bottom. Releasing from all those guitar strings, top, middle, and bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, now see a spot. I'm going to go back to inches. Sorry, I don't know meters. About 12 inches. Any inches can do. 12 inches beneath your seat that's in line with your spine. Okay, breathe into that spot, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels of the image releasing from that spot.
Yeah.
Breathe into your abdomen, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels releasing, flowing down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet.
Yeah.
Now imagine there's a spot 6 inches below your feet that's between your feet. Breathe into that spot, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels of the image drain down your body, go through that spot, and be absorbed into the earth. See the tiny pixels drain down your body, go through that spot, and be absorbed into the earth.
Yeah.
Now see a 6-inch sphere or ball 18 inches beneath your feet. Breathe into that sphere, and as you breathe out, see all the tiny pixels releasing from that sphere.
Yeah.
Breathe into your diaphragm.
I didn't get that word. What is that?
Oh, your upper stomach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Breathe into your upper stomach, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels releasing from your diaphragm.
Yeah.
Breathe into your heart. Breathe into the depths of your heart and release the tiny pixels from the deep, deep depths of your heart. Yeah. Breathe into your voice. Breathe into the depths of your voice and release the tiny pixels from the deep, deep depths of your voice.
Yeah.
Visualize all the parts of your brain, the front, the back, left side, right side, and the core center of your brain. Now breathe into all those parts of your brain, and as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels releasing, radiating out in all directions from all those parts of your entire brain. Releasing the tiny pixels from all those parts of your entire brain.
Yeah.
Breathe into your mind. Breathe into the depths of your mind and release the tiny pixels from the deep, deep depths of your mind.
Yeah.
Breathe into the core of your soul. Breathe into what you think of as the core of your soul and release the tiny pixels from the deep core of your soul.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're about to yawn. Imagine you're yawning a deep, wide yawn, which you're actually doing. Great. As you yawn, see the tiny pixels of the image releasing from the core of your soul. As you feel the yawn throughout your whole body, see the tiny pixels releasing from the core of your soul.
Yep.
Okay, now scan your body. See if there's any other pixels remaining in your body anywhere. Can you see any?
Yeah.
You can? Where are they?
In my elbow.
Perfect. Breathe into your elbow. And as you breathe out, see the tiny pixels remaining, moving out of your elbow, even out through the pores of your skin into the atmosphere. See them releasing.
Yeah.
Okay, scan your body again. Any left?
Yeah. In my knee.
Your knee. Look at the right
This
knee.
knee.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it's both,
Or
sometimes
like
it's just
the-
one.
I don't know what it's called, the back of the knee.
The whole knee.
The back side of the knee.
Back side of the knee. Great. Breathe into that area. And as you breathe out, see any remaining pixels of the image releasing, even through the pores of your skin over that area as they move off into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay. Another little scan. Any left that you can see anywhere?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. So, remember the memory of that sexual experience at 9 years old?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really.
This isn't lobotomy. Don't worry.
Do you have this when you wake up and you had a dream and it was an amazing dream or whatever, a memorable dream, and then you wake up and you remember that you remember the dream, but you have no idea what it was?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel right now.
Okay. Okay. So do you feel attached to that image sexually at all anymore?
No.
No sexual attraction. I know you're in front of a large crowd, so
Yeah,
maybe, but you seem like a very open guy. So
Yeah.
do you feel any kind of titillating sensation at all about that?
No.
Okay. Do you feel, I don't usually ask this, but I'm going to go ahead and take a chance today. Do you feel any trauma, or does that bother you at all in any way? Is it distressing in any way? Or does it feel like you can just kind of, some people say, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, it's okay.
But some people say, who cares? I just want to move on. I don't even care about it anymore. What do you think about the event now?
Like, I feel like I cannot remember it. Like, as I said, you know, this dream that you know you remember it, but you don't actually. Like, you think you remember it, but you don't actually remember it.
Okay.
That's what this image feels like now in me.
Great. One more question. How do you feel about you as your own guy, your own man, in your own body? It'll be either positive, negative, or both. How do you feel about you?
I feel okay with myself.
Well, there's a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Well, there you are. There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'll go back to you. Stand up. So, that was the easiest subject I've ever had. They're usually a bit more complex than that, but that's okay, because I want to tell you, how much time do we have left? Great, we have 10 minutes. So Robert's going to say a few things, but I want to tell you, in my opinion, you all are going to be very interested to know, well, how are all our clients reacting? And what I'm here to tell you, I don't want to make it seem like a miracle pill. It's not. I don't want to make this seem like voodoo. It's not. We're using the God-given talents that the brain, the mind, the heart has to heal addictions within itself. It's like if you break your leg and you go to the doctor. Does the doctor actually heal you? No, he sets the bone. The body heals itself. That's the same philosophy that Dr. Miller has discovered with this. And that's why it works so fast, in my opinion. And that's why it works for every client. All of my clients who are doing this, all of them, are having the same basic reactions, which to me is stunning. And so that combined with other psychodynamic processes, we're having amazing results with our clients. And we're very grateful to the people before us, like Dr. Nicolosi and Dr. Miller, and we're grateful to God for showing us this way, which I believe it is providential. It's not that everyone has to do this, but this is so new and so effective, I have a lot of passion about it, which you probably can tell. And so I want to thank you for listening.
Before we take any questions, I just wanted to make a remark. What you saw up here is quite typical. I had a client, we did IMTT on a painful memory. The session ended. The next session I asked him, do you remember what we worked on, the memory last session? He said, what memory? I said, you were really distressed about something that had happened to you. We did IMTT on the trauma. He said, what trauma? I said, you don't remember? He said, no. I said, I'm not going to remind you. So it's very typical. Again, as David said, not every case is as easy as that, but for basic trauma, we're having very, very good results.
I want to tell you about one case. Now, this is only one case, but you know, it makes sense for me to reveal to you at least one of the best reactions I've had. I've had a gentleman who's been doing IMTT on a lot of issues, not just SSA, but comorbidities and other traumas. But a year ago, he underwent FSIP for a gay porn addiction. After 4 months, he told me, I have no interest in porn anymore. He didn't have to go to 12-step programs anymore. He didn't have to, you know, bite the bullet, as we say in America, or white knuckle it. It was gone. And I said, okay, maybe he's reacting very well. Well, that was a year ago. He still has no feelings at all of even a desire to go to gay porn. And he's gone through a final process on some of the acting out in reality with other men. And he's now at the point where he's just saying things like he can't imagine, why would he have sex with a guy? It doesn't make any sense to him anymore. So I'm telling you that because I think we owe it to you to know that this isn't just theory. It's our clients are responding in these ways. And this is going to be extremely important for those people of faith who, in my opinion, don't have to struggle so much. Wanted to let you know about case histories. And if you have any questions about that, we're certainly open. Robert?
Do you want to do Q&A then?
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions about this? We both? Yes, go ahead. I'll take the first one.
How do you adjust the protocol when the memories are more connected to audio than visual?
Sure. What we do then is ask them to replay in their mind the sounds that they heard. So I'll tell them, go ahead and listen to the screaming. Listen to your father yelling at you. Repeat what he used to say. And they repeat it out loud. They hear it, and then a feeling emerges. We get rid of the feeling, and then we deconstruct the image. Okay, go ahead.
We only have time for one more question. So anyone want to take a stab? Or maybe we're done.
There's lots of questions.
Go ahead. Oh, excellent question. The question is, what color should you choose? Or why color, okay?
Why color?
Well, think about it. This is part of the human experience. It's universal. When you say you're depressed, what color do you automatically usually say? Blue or black, am I right?
Gray.
Gray? Yeah, we do it automatically without thinking. Jazz is sometimes called what color? The blues. Why blue? I don't know all the reasons. The only thing that's important is that we don't choose the color, the client always chooses the color, because that's what his brain is focusing on, and that's why it's tailored to each separate client. That client that you saw up there, the color could have been black, could have been red. It doesn't matter. Just know all human beings color it. Oh, 2 more questions.
I have one
Okay, we'll
question.
take a third question.
I have one question. I'm interested in why this technique is effective. Could you please uncode it from the psychological point of view? What psychological mechanism stands behind it? What is going on simply here?
Yes, what we do is we actually transform. You know, we presented this to an audience, and one of the members said, you know, Robert, this is not real. It's all make up. And I said, all of our problems are in our heads. Okay? We transform for example, the pain into a color, and then we make the color into sand-like particles, and then we psychologically remove it. Okay? You say, well, how do you really do that? Well, it's all in somebody's head. All cognitive distortions are in your mind. They're not real. You cannot touch them. So it's simply the mechanism of transforming. That's why they call it image transformation therapy.
Hi, everyone's brain works slightly different, I'm sure. What if you're working as a counselor to a client and the client's image starts to change, becomes more pronounced, moves on to another one, and it comes more with the feeling as well? Do you as a counselor stay on the one you started to work with, or you can shift and adjust?
I think what you're asking me is if another image appears,
yes,
which one do you choose?
That's right.
You always stay with the original one. That's a very good point. A lot of times, because there's so much trauma or even SSA in clients, other images will come up. You tell the client to just notice that, let it go. If we need to work on that later, we will, but you can only do one image at a time. Yeah, one image at a time is the rule, and it works very smoothly that way.
And one feeling state at a time.
And that's right, and one feeling state at a time. This gentleman up here today, he could have, he actually did have several feeling states. Now, I picked the one that was most meaningful to him, and the whole thing just dissipated. So it takes some expertise, but you can figure it out. I think we're going to have to stay on time. So thank you. We're here available for questions or anything you want. Now, Mike.